This all started with a tip followed by weeks of undercover work and pouring through public records. Now, town leaders in Hingham are promising to investigate what we uncovered. 2 high-ranking employees and evidence of double dipping. That's Hingham town engineer Roger Fernandez on the left, flanked by his assistant engineer Harry Sylvester. That this duo would be overseeing a road project is nothing unusual. What's different here is this isn't in Hingham. The paving work you see is actually happening on the streets of Quincy. And even though this particular instance was a paid holiday, other work raised questions about whether the Hingham employees got paid for being 2 places at once.
Oh, there's a term for that. It's called double dipping, and it's a crime, if it can be proven.
Greg Sullivan would know. He investigated and prosecuted cases of double dipping when he was Massachusetts Inspector General. How easy is it to get away with something like this?
Well, it's very easy to get away if nobody's looking. Unfortunately for the engineer and his assistant, someone has looked, which is NBC.
We started looking after a tipster provided these photos, showing the pair working for the Hingham Town Engineers private consulting company, BRL Construction. The NBC10 Boston Investigators then obtained invoices from Quincy and compared those to Hingham payroll timesheets, looking for overlapping dates.
These examples that you're showing me, in my view, are very serious.
Take September 14th, where photos show Fernandez and Sylvester at a road paving project in Quincy. The daytime work supported by police detail records and later confirmed to us by Quincy city leaders. At $125 per hour, Fernandez billed Quincy for 9 hours that day, but put a full 8-hour shift on his Hingham time card. At $98 per hour, Sylvester also tallied 9 hours of consulting work, but in Hingham, he took a paid sick day. That timesheet signed off by Fernandez, the head of the department, and his boss.
How could his boss approve his employee's sick day when he was working with them on the same day in another community?
I was not aware of it at the time, no.
Town Administrator Tom Mayo didn't know his $130,000 per year engineer had a side hustle until we started asking questions. And even showing photos of him working in Quincy.
I will look into it and take appropriate action.
How big of a problem is that?
If there is any impropriety, if somebody is misusing sick leave, that's a problem, and we will address it. I'm not going to assume that that's happened until I have the facts.
Ryan Kath with NBC Boston. Need to ask you. We also caught up to Fernandez outside the Hingham DPW building to ask about some of the questionable shifts. We have one of your employees taking sick days and on the same day working for your private company. How do you explain that?
No, that's not accurate.
We have both you and Harry working in Quincy on Friday, September 14th during the day. He put in for a sick day that day. You put in for a full shift.
That's incorrect. I'm sorry. If that were the case, then my current employee would have an issue with that, and that did not happen.
Fernandez insisted he and Sylvester only worked on nights, weekends, and holidays. But that still doesn't explain why Sylvester used paid sick time on 6 different days that he also made money in Quincy. And it raises questions about the times Fernandez billed for at least 8 hours of consulting work while also putting in for the full shift at his day job in Hingham.
We would never, ever double dip or hurt this community in any way. Never.
Hingham's town administrator tells me he's in the midst of an internal investigation to get some of those answers. Meantime, over in Quincy, they've already seen enough. City leaders there pulled the plug on the consulting contract after verifying the results of our reporting. Ryan Kath, NBC10 Boston Investigators.